I'm a believer that this team's going to win the national championships.
The rivalries, it's up there on top of the list, man. And if we allow them to devalue it, we lose a lot of what makes college football special. Don't let them do it. Don't let them devalue what it means to you. All right, let's get to the defense. As we've done the offense, we're going to the defense now. Tomorrow, we are going to get to see a lot of pictures, a lot of video. We're going to get to hear from Ryan Day afterwards. It feels like Christmas. I'm really excited. We get to see all these freshmen in their colors for the first time, how much weight they've gained since we last saw them. We're going to get to see how much weight some of these veterans have gained. It's going to be awesome. Let's start with the defensive ends, as we've got Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson. Now, do we have questions about these two? A lot of people think that Kenyatta is about to bust out, turn himself into a high round pick. And we're kind of counting on him here to be the dude. He played a ton at the end of last year. He looked really, really good. Physically, he's always looked unbelievable. And right now, he doesn't just have that long body. He is really filled out. He looks explosive. He absolutely looks like he can be that guy that propels himself to the next level in the way that we all thought he was going to be when he came in as a recruit. And you need it. You absolutely need it from him, because as you look at the other side with Caden, we know Caden can rush the passer. Can Caden turn himself into a 3-down guy? Can he handle the run? Or do you need to play a lot of Logan George, who's a little bit fuller and a little bit bigger on the other side? If you have to, I think that's fine. Is Logan George ready to make that leap from the FCS up to the biggest of the big time? I think he can. I think that Larry, who, say whatever you want about him, he knows when he's got one, and his eyes said it all in that press conference when he was asked about Logan George. And it was almost a giggle, like, oh yeah, he can handle making the jump. So we know Logan George is going to be capable. We know he's going to be probably pretty good against the run. Is it going to be a situation where we see a rotation a little bit more on the Caden Curry, Logan George side, more so than the Kenyatta side? Because who's your fourth guy? Your fourth guy is either CJ Hicks or Josh Mickens, two guys who are built almost identically at 6'3", 230. And when we talk about Josh Mickens, certainly no slouch, a guy who was, a high pedigree, top 150 guy. The Buckeyes flipped him from LSU. He was out of Indiana. He's in his third year. So there's potential here. Larry talked about him last year as a guy who kind of out of the blue was really coming on, and it was totally unprovoked. Can we maybe see that this year out of Mickens? He's only played 50 snaps in his career, maybe not even that, 20 snaps in his career. Has never made the travel roster. So when we talk about our top four guys here, Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry, there are some questions there. Logan George, CJ Hicks, Josh Mickens, there are definitely some questions. And, we're talking starters here. Now, you get to the guys after that. We've got Dominic Kirks in year 2, a kid out of Painesville, top 300 recruit, was committed to Washington. Buckeyes flipped him. We didn't see anything from him last year. I think maybe 7 snaps total. So is there anything he can contribute this year? Or might it be from the freshmen? There are 2 in Ziggy Grady from Alabama at 6'4", 230, a top 100 guy, and Epi Satanile at 6'5", 220 out of California, top 200 guy, a little bit more wiry. And of those 2, you would think that Ziggy is potentially ready to contribute a little quicker, a little more physically mature, not coming in as game ready as Edric Houston was last year, that's for sure, but not too far off. All right, let's talk about these defensive tackles. We got Edric Houston. We've got Caden McDonald. And I think when we talk ceilings, Edric Houston, first round ceiling, no doubt, but he's young. When we talk about Caden McDonald, I don't think he's far behind him. I think this guy's got crazy talent. This is an NFL dude. This is a high round pick. We've heard his own teammates say he is going to be amazing and then mention his conditioning. Is that an indication that he's not one of these big belly guys that can just go all day like a Vince Wilfork or a Warren Sapp? Some guys are built like that and it doesn't affect them. They can just go. Other guys might need to shed a few. Might we see tomorrow when we get some pictures that maybe Caden shed a few? But I've heard two of his teammates, or one teammate and one coach, mention conditioning when talking about Caden. No doubt he's got the talent. He's absolutely got the talent. But they're going to be relying on him for a lot of snaps this year, and he's got to be able to do it. Edric, how fast can he continue to improve? I think it'll be fast. When we talk about those two starters, no worries at all. Who do you got behind him? It doesn't look like guys that you would want to have a deep rotation with. Jason Moore in year 3, Ty Malone in his 5th year, Will Smith year 3, Eric Mensah year 2. Ty Malone has 144 career snaps. His snap count decreased last year. He had that one game against Marshall where he really popped, and then he kind of disappeared the rest of the season. Jason Moore, 60 career snaps. Will Smith Jr., 35 career snaps. Is Jason Moore ready to pop? He's got all the potential. Top 50 recruit in the country out of Maryland when he came in. 6'6", long arms. Larry said this is the year for him. He's been telling him, been talking to him. You got the foundation. Now it's time. Now it's time. And he just needs to play more football. So we're going to get to see him play. Does he got it? How about Will Smith Jr.? Is he going to take a big leap forward? And let's remember, these guys were all jumped by freshman Edric Houston, who, granted, is a heck of a talent, but he moved, remember, from defensive end inside and jumped these guys almost immediately, which is not a great look. I love Will Smith Sr. I'm certainly rooting for Junior, an Ohio kid, but I've never seen anything out of him that makes me think he was going to see a lot of snaps at Ohio State. I felt the same way about Eric Mensah coming in, and Ty Malone has flashed. Can he put it together at all? I'm over here looking at Jarquez Carter as a freshman saying this guy may actually get some serious minutes over some of these guys, and that's not a great thing. It's not a great thing. However, I think he just might be a pretty special talent, to be quite honest. So is it cause for concern? Some people will be concerned about this, but what generally happens is we go into a season like this concerned when it comes to defensive line, and what happens, man? Dudes just pop. Dudes pop that we weren't expecting to pop, and it all works out. We've seen it for decades. Guys always pop when you recruit at the level Ohio State does. I don't think this year will be any different, and my hope is it's Jason Moore. If Jason Moore can take that next step and be the guy we thought he would be coming out of high school, you've got an opportunity now to have a really, really legit 3-man crew with Cade McDonald, Edric Houston, and Jason Moore. That can be 3 tanks for sure. So that would be great. And then if you could maybe get one more who is, good enough to get in there and take some snaps, that'd be good. All right, let's get to JL's room. James Laurinaitis, linebackers coach at The Ohio State University, linebacker coach superstar, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. Those are going to be our starters. We know that unequivocally. After that, Peyton Pierce, Garrett Stover in year 2, freshman sensation Riley Pettijohn, freshman TJ Alford, and JUCK Eli Lee, the big dude, and there is absolutely still a place for a big old dude in the Big Ten at linebacker. The questions here, love the starters. I think everybody loves the starters. I think Arvell Reese is going to be first team all Big Ten. To put that into context, JT, Caleb, and Lathan were the only first team Big Ten on the team last year. I think he's going to be a finalist for the Butkus Award. I think he's going to lead the team in tackles. I think he's so incredibly special. And those starters are just legit NFL dudes. And then you got the second-year guys with Peyton Pierce and Garrett Stover. I think Peyton Pierce is going to play plenty this year. Garrett Stover, I think, is going to be competing hard to hold off these freshmen. Riley Pettijohn is a different type of dude. Today I was breaking down running backs, and Riley Pettijohn, to put this into context, is faster than the fast running backs. This guy is a sub 11 second 100-meter guy. He is faster than running backs. He hits like a freight train. He's long. He has great instincts. He has great work ethic. And it's a different type of dude here. So how much can you keep him off the field? That's maybe the only question we got for the linebackers. All right, let's go to the DBs. And I guess our biggest question right here, who's the nickel? Do IGB and Jermaine Matthews remain where they're at as the starting corners? Lorenzo Styles, your leader in the clubhouse to be the nickel based on last year, is he your best option out of this crew? That's a huge question. Second year, Bryce West and Aaron Scott. Can they hold off freshman sensation Devin Sanchez? Can the starters hold off freshman sensation Devin Sanchez? Or is that an immediate 3-man rotation, like real quick? I suspect that'll be a rotation. I suspect Devin Sanchez passes Bryce West and Aaron Scott. And we're seeing IGB, Jermaine Matthews, and Devin Sanchez at corner. Does that mean Aaron Scott potentially gets a shot at nickel? Can he handle that? I think physically he can. Is he ready to roll? Bryce West is a hell of a corner. I don't think he's got the frame to handle that spot, to be able to play like a linebacker at times. Aaron Scott does. So those are some questions we got at corner. Really curious to see freshman Jordan Woods out there as well. This is a 6'4" tackling machine who can really move and really cover. A very interesting prospect. At safety, opposite Caleb Downs, is it Jalen McClain? Is it Malik Hartford? Is it a combination of both? As a freshman, Jalen McClain played the third most freshman snaps last year. And I've been saying it since the season ended. The kid's a total superstar in the making, an NFL dude, no question in my mind. Unbelievable win from Perry Eliano, a 3-star kid from New Jersey. Just such a great pickup, such a great evaluation. Then you got a top 50 kid from Ohio in Malik Hartford, who is a hammer, reminds a lot of people of Lathan Ransom. Do you find a way to split time with those guys? And Fahim Delane. Boy, I can't wait to see this dude. Already looks like a junior in college physically. At 6'3", he's close to 215 right now. He's a hammer. He could play linebacker. He can cover. He's going to be awesome. Do we see some of him this year? And then I'm really interested to see Cody Haddad out there moving. Cody Haddad, we did not get to see much as he was injured as a junior and again as a senior. This is a son of an NFL guy from St. Ignatius at 6'180" right now. How much weight did he gain in the summer workouts? And then Deshaun Stewart from DePaul Catholic. Deshaun's injured right now, but Deshaun has put on 20 pounds of muscle. So Deshaun pushing 200. I don't know if he's full participation or not, but he was injured. We'll see what happens there. And that is what we got for our questions. All right, predictions from the defense. I've got Kenyatta Jackson. Yes, he takes that next step. He becomes that dude that we all thought he could be. And he embraces a leadership role. Caden Curry gets a little help from Logan George, and we end up really falling in love with Logan George, who's going to be a hell of a football player. When we look in the middle, Edric Houston takes that big leap forward, and Caden McDonald continues to look like Tyleek, just a twitchy, beefy monster. At linebacker, Arvell Reese, I already told you, he's a total superstar. Sonny has another good year, and Riley Pettijohn, they can't keep off the field, and he flashes, and everybody knows, okay, that's the next dude. Devin Sanchez, he's going to play in a 3-man rotation with IGB and Jermaine Matthews, and I think that Aaron Scott and Lorenzo Styles make up your 2 nickels. All right, so I recorded that first part in 4K. I'm going to record this in just the normal way, because I want to see when we play it, when we watch it, if there's a difference. So did the picture quality just change? If so, we'll keep it in 4K. If not, we're never going to do that again because it took up 2.2 gigabytes for 40 minutes, which is like, wow, that's a lot. I'll have to get an external hard drive or something. I don't know what I'm going to do in that case. But at any rate, let's get to some of your comments. We'll start off with Anthony, who says St. Clair is going to win the starting job. Anthony, I would love that. Obviously, if that happened, that would mean that Tavian St. Clair came in and just absolutely wowed everybody, because once you go to him, you really can't go back once you shake saying like that. Like, let's just say you're starting Tavian and things go wrong, and then you got to go back to saying like, that's, I don't know. Now you've got a sticky situation. You know, you go back to Terrell Pryor's freshman year. Todd Beckman was a senior, and all those seniors came back that year. Laurinaitis and Alex Boone, Marcus Freeman, Malcolm Jenkins, Beckman, they all came back, and they were going to make a run at it again because they had made it to the national championship and lost the year before. They go out to USC, get blown out, and Tressel made what he said was the most difficult decision he ever made as a coach, and that was benching Todd Beckman at that point because he knew we can't win the national championship. It's time to turn it over to Terrell Pryor and let him start getting his reps. And it almost blew the whole team up. It almost, these guys came back, and now this is our dude. He was all Big Ten last year. You're going to a freshman? Are you kidding me? This is our senior year. Like, and I can get it from their point of view. Like, but, ultimately it was the right decision, right? And I guess this is a different decision. But my point is, you're really messing with the older guy when you go to the freshman, and going back is difficult. So saying would have to be just not just even, but considerably, noticeably better in almost every situation for Ryan Day to turn to a freshman. Because if you put him in there and things don't go good, you could damage him. And there's just a whole lot of psychology behind it as well. So if it were to happen, I think it would be awesome. I love a freshman quarterback. I think he's so exciting. Like, nothing is more exciting than watching like Dylan Raiola last year. I just loved it. A true freshman. It's so much fun. But, I wouldn't have high hopes of a national championship if that were the case with a true freshman. SoCal Buck says, he's talking about, I did a short with Julian Sayin, the issue with Ohio State's Julian Sayin. And my contention is that everybody thinks because of his baby face that he's smaller than he is. But he's 6'1", 205. We just talked about Bo Bentley, 6'1", 200. That's big enough for a college quarterback, but he looks smaller and appears smaller. After this comment, I've got good news. I've got something to show you. Now, this comment says, people are concerned about his size more than his height and want to see his arm strength, but it's a lie to say people are clamoring for Lincoln. Everyone thinks that Sayin is QB1. Dude, I do 5 Ohio State themed shows a week. I have to have and I hate it, an account on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and TikTok where I post my stuff. I promise you, I talk to more Buckeye fans in a day than you talk to in a month. There are a lot of people who not only think Lincoln is the better quarterback based on what I don't know, and really want him to be the starting quarterback. It's not a lie. It's a real thing. Maybe you'll run into it soon. And when you do, I don't know if it's going to pick up momentum like the Devin Brown thing did, but I hope not after people see this. And don't pay attention to what he's doing. I just want you to look at his body. Julian Sayin released this yesterday, and you could see right there in that picture. You see that right there? Look how much bigger he is. He is much bigger from shoulder to shoulder, from front to back. He has definitely gotten bigger. Now, there are some people when I posted this who really are taking issue with what he's doing here. And I just try to explain it like this. Like, have you ever played basketball on a court by yourself and just pretended like someone was guarding you, altering your shot? You're putting a different arc on it, like pretending someone's hand is in your face, or you're going up and under. He's simulating a rush. He's simulating making plays on the move. He's not having time to set his feet. He's just playing a game. He's out there making plays in his head here. And That's what he's doing. And this is not what he does every day. I mean, he probably does do this every day, maybe after practice for, a short period, but this is not like, that's not like the thing, right? The thing was, we're just looking at his size and he's just, messing around making plays. So at any rate, he looks a lot bigger. I think we can all agree on that. Brutus 8004 says, players don't improve. Was this just a short part of a long video? You sound pretty critical of Lincoln here. I don't intend to sound critical of Lincoln. And he's talking about a video, that same Saiyan video. And what I said in the video was Saiyan came in and beat Lincoln out almost immediately and moved to that number 3 quarterback spot. If Julian Saiyan as a freshman came in knowing nothing, essentially, and beat Lincoln out, what is it that would make you think that Lincoln would beat him now this year? And he's saying, to his question here, players can't improve. Of course, I'm sure Lincoln's improved plenty, but I'm sure Julian did too. And if Julian was above him last year and they both improve, well, the gap stays like this, unless Lincoln improved far more than him. Could it have happened? Sure. Do I think it's likely based on Lincoln being a year in the system and getting beat by a freshman who just walked in the door? No. If that sounds critical, so be it. It's just the truth. I don't know what you want me to do here. Eric from Kokomo says, it seemed to me that you, Juck, and I were some of the only Cody Simon fans that could see how great he really is. Now everybody knows it. Spot on. That's spot on. Perfect on brand right there. Absolutely. You were right there with me all along. He wasn't just a gritty leader. He wasn't just a good linebacker. He was a better athlete than anybody was giving him credit for, and he was a beast, and he turned out to be just that. I hate the gray sleeves. No, they look just like Iowa's sleeves, just a different color. That's an insane take. That is an insane take, Eric. And look, Hopalong Cassidy and Vic Janowicz were wearing the gray sleeves, okay? Iowa didn't start wearing the Steeler uniform till 1979, the year of my birth, which means if one of them looks like the other, it's Iowa's that looked like Ohio State's, okay? We were here first, okay? Gray sleeves forever. That's how you order your JJ jersey, with gray sleeves. All right, guys? I love this one. This one just came. It's a beast. I accidentally ordered it too big, though. It's a little too big. It's a little too big. Let's continue. Mikey J says, Juck, so glad I ran across your channel last season. I think your reaction short on Sawyer taking it to the house is one of the best and most authentic, heartfelt expressions of fandom. Keep up the great work. Mikey, thank you. I'm telling you what, man, that I've shot a lot of hours of stuff here. Having that documented is something that, like, I just cherish, because I cannot wait to tell the story of that season to my grandkids someday, and tell the story of that Texas game and show them my real life reaction. And it never had dawned on me in my life before, but I think you guys should do it too. I think you should do it too. I think you should record yourself next time you're in a situation like that, so you can get your authentic reaction, because I'm so excited to have a grandkid to show that to them. I really am. But thank you, buddy. I appreciate all your support. Shroud Dog says, Juck, what are your biggest concerns for the team this season? Mine is quarterback play, zero experience at the position. I think we all took Will Howard's performance and leadership for granted this past season. Not here. We were Team Will Howard all the way from day one around here. Now, as far as concerns, yeah, quarterback, I'm with you. And then when we look at the defensive line, like, yeah, I think Kenyatta is going to take that next step. I think Caden Curry is going to take that next step. I think Logan George is going to be good. I think that Caden McDonald can handle 50 snaps if he needs to. I think that Edric Houston is going to take that next step. I think that one of those guys behind each of them is going to really pop. But there's a whole lot of ifs, and there's a whole lot of I thinks going on, and not a whole lot of I knows when it comes to the defensive line. So while I feel good about it, optimistic about it, there's a chance it could go the other way. No doubt about it. Colin Sepulveda says, thanks for scratching my college football itch in the offseason, Juck. Love listening to your segments when I'm at work. Colin, I hope your boss isn't a secret Juck eye or you're busted. But and finally, Bucky Hustle says, you're completely right about CJ Hicks. I watch your show because you tell it how it is, knowing people won't like it. I hope so too. And I hated doing that. And I hated saying that because I don't want to sound like I'm tearing this guy down. That's not my intention. It's not him that I'm irritated with. It's not his fault that he was a 5-star, had all this praise heaped on him and was supposed to be something. And it's not his fault that every single offseason has been just filled with chatter about him and what he's supposed to do and what he's going to do. None of that's his fault. He's just out there trying his best. And that's all he's supposed to do. Bust his butt in the offseason, bust his butt during the season. He's trying his best. My irritation is with the hype machine. That's my irritation. So anyway, I appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, I'm always going to tell you what I think, whether it's popular or not. And I thought that one was going to be pretty not very well received, and it wasn't very well received. And you know what? That's okay. I got to stay true to myself, and I got to say what's on my mind, because after all, that's why I'm here, right? Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Tomorrow we will I'll probably take in practice first, and then I'll do a show after that. Maybe we'll do a live show tomorrow afterwards. So sometime in the afternoon, maybe after Coach speaks, after Coach Day talks, maybe we'll come on live. Why don't we do that? Why don't we just plan on that? So we'll do a live tomorrow. It will be most likely, 12:30 or 1:00 ish, and we'll come on live. It'll be after the press conference, and we'll talk then. We'll get Dylan on with us this week to talk. He's going to be at the Woody, so we'll bring him on to talk, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be awesome. I will talk to you guys then. JUCK and Bucks out.